Aloha, everybody. Michelle Melendez with Blossom Inner Wellness and Stand Together Hawaii.com. And I'm super excited because today I have Robin Wind, who is a medium, and her website is robinwindmedium.com. And let me just let you know a little bit about her. She's a natural clairvoyant, a master healer. She was also a former hospice nurse, a hospital clergy, and a former pastor of the Mother Church of Modern Spiritualism in Rochester, New York. Robin, thanks so much for joining me.
Aloha, thank you for having me.
So, my first question is about your gift. How did you know you were a clairvoyant, and what has been your journey? And then I just want you all to know we're going to be talking about Maui. That's the main reason why I invited her on.
I was born and raised a little bit freaky. I would see things and hear things that other people didn't. And I guess when I was really young, I would say things to grown-ups that would disturb them or make them drop something or get nervous. Like, how did she know that? And I quickly learned as a child that not everybody saw and heard and felt the things that I did. And certainly not everybody was open to talk about it. So as I grew, I kind of just did what I had to do to basically survive and get through it. But I've had lots of opportunities to see spirit, to work in hospitals and see a lot of departing souls. I always say there's more souls in a hospital than there is in the morgue than there is anywhere. Cemeteries are empty for me, but where their bodies are in funeral homes or in in the hospital is where they stay, kind of figuring out what they're doing next. Um, and again, I've developed this gift into something that is used to help other people. Working with death and dying as a hospice nurse and clergy was a natural step for me to talk about what I saw, what I felt, angels, spirits there. And it's just natural for me to do.
Well, the gifts are there, and I'm just really, really grateful for your gift because I've been studying what's happened in Maui. And I have a whole, if you guys want to go to standtogetherhawaii.com/ Maui fires, there is a humongous page of all of the evidence that that was an absolute attack on Maui. And what was your feeling when you first heard or saw that there was fires in Lahaina?
I had been
Oh,
very
are you okay?
emotional and extremely teary and emotional and not knowing why. Long before I actually heard about the fires, I felt a disturbance. That's the only way I can describe it. It was the same way for me in upstate New York before 9/11. I felt the disturbance before it actually happened. Um, and when it happened, I kept feeling children and I kept feeling confusion and I kept feeling like there was a shell game of some sorts being played. And I've not read anything here. We don't see much here. Really, stateside, we don't get a lot of information at
Yeah.
all. And I've certainly not seen the sites, but a lot of my clients are from Hawaii. So I've spoken just to help them process.
Yeah.
I I did get a lot of what I feel is not truth and a feeling of that there was the shell game, as I call it, is that things are moving around really quick and nobody's sitting still and telling the truth and everybody wants to blame someone else, and by not saying anything they feel as though that's an answer, and that has
Mhm.
been the gist of it from the beginning of what I felt.
So when you say shell game, you're talking about hiding the ball and moving the ball and doing this thing. Got it. So there's two big questions that I have. One is they claim 97. Well, they went from 115 deaths down, dropped it down to 97 deaths. And how is that possible when there was no alarm? It's just like, well, you tell me, what do you think about that when you heard that the numbers of the deaths?
Not even close to what I felt. Not even close to, if I say this, I don't, if you edit, go for it. But I heard a lot of confusion. I heard a lot of mayhem and if I say screams and just confusion, I mean that. And there was far more spirits leaving the planet than 97 people.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's my belief as well. Yeah, and the bodies in the water. A friend of mine who works for national security said that there was a person who was pulling these bodies out of the water who signed a non-disclosure, so he's not able to talk about it. But she said that they were in a really weird position, like frozen. And we actually have a frozen frog in mid-leap. And what would you say about what's that? That is really anything comes up around that?
Extremely bizarre, but when you are taking a spiritual sacred place and it is peaceful and it is beautiful and it's people are connected on all sorts of levels. When there is a traumatic experience, it kind of opens up a like a portal or tears open a part of it that just makes it um I'm having a hard time explaining it, but it just it changes time and space and awareness. It's a bit quantum physics for me, but it gets to a place where when you think of the horrors that other places had, Pompeii, things like that, where you see the faces and their hands are
Mhm.
up, like they were just kind of frozen in time. That would mean to me that that trauma was on so many levels trying to open at the same time to catch all the souls that were trying to leave. Remember, souls count for four-legged and winged ones and swimmers and
Mhm.
the insects and the trees and the plants and floral. Those are all souls too, in a different way for sure. But that's a lot of things leaving, being 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 annihilated almost at the same time. And
Yeah.
you said all I got from me from the water was that I kept feeling like lobsters, like boiling or hot, so hot that even the water wasn't safe. I
Mhm.
mean, when you have no choice but to go back into the water, but the water close would be just as warm and the fires would suck the oxygen out and make it just a melting pot, right?
Mhm.
And if the gentleman had to sign something that says we're not going to talk about that, they don't want that image to be what people feel when they come to one of the largest tourist places in the world and
Mhm.
happy places. They're not
Mhm.
going to talk about children dying or bodies of animals or other things they found. And the truth of the matter is, from even working hospice, when you incinerate, when you burn, there isn't anything left.
Correct.
And I
Correct.
know they're doing DNA, but if there's not, there are victims that they're never going to find and never going to count because the wind's going to blow and whatever was there in
Mhm.
the ash is gone,
Mhm.
right? Any
Yeah.
rain
Yeah.
going to wash it away.
Yeah. I actually want to show just an image really quick, and then I want to get to the children because I do have a question, and we all do. We all do. That was one of the biggest questions was what about the children? So I just want to, since we're on this topic, I want to do a screen share really fast. Um, let's see here. Desktop. Sorry, you guys.
Oh no.
I'm actually on a different platform. Okay, it's not letting me. So anyway, you can go to standtogetherhawaii.com and click on Maui fires and you'll actually see the charred bodies. Okay, so this is my internet that's being slow today. Sorry about that. Okay, children.
Uh-huh.
I have not posted a video on the children because somebody was talking about the buses and the buses leaving. And I'm very much a researcher and I have to verify things. So I couldn't verify that. However, the mayor's walking away from a reporter who says, okay, 97 people are dead. How many are children? He doesn't even say, like, they're not saying anything about the children. And so what comes up for you when you look into the children of Lahaina?
I think I'm at the place where you are maybe thinking, or the people there are thinking, that they're not being represented. It's not going to be talked about.
Oh yeah.
If I tell you an image that I had, a dream, I'm going to tell you this. A dream of a mother running out and trying to grab children, and children running away from her because she's got something in her arms. I was seeing dreams like that. And you only have so many arms, and you might have two or three children, and going in another direction or not with you, they were gone. And I can't imagine a mother being able to talk to anybody about that kind of a sensation, feeling that I had them, they were almost there and then they were gone. And they're they're just, seriously, I'm telling you, the numbers that you have when you say 97, I would say four or five more times than that, because I don't think they know how many people were there. I
Yeah.
think there were people that were visiting or walking and through, or tourists that you're never going to know, just the same as we did at 9/11. We had guesstimate numbers, but there were
Mm.
still hundreds of people that were missing after that. No one knew where they were.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you feel the children were taken out before the fire? So that's some people believe that the children were actually removed because the satanic system that are in, and a lot of people who don't understand the powers that be, what they truly are, and how much we've been enslaved and for how long. But do you feel the children died there, or were they possibly removed from the area?
I don't feel the bus as much as I feel the numbers aren't right. I also feel the people were out removing bodies by dawn. I think there were people out removing things and taking things away before the light of day, where people could really get out and see what was happening. And my sense is there's a lot there that happened to kind of sweep it so it's not so, it's a crime. I'm going to
Yeah.
say that it's a crime. It was not, from the beginning of it to the end of it, different people were involved in it. You talked about did you say mayor or governor?
The mayor's was being asked, like a reporter would kept asking, how many are children? How many are children? And he just would walk away. He didn't even reply. He didn't respond at all. He just walked away.
But I have a
The
sense
governor is a
that
whole nother
he's,
topic, but
yeah, they're not telling the truth. Both of them.
mhm.
I'm saying both of them. I brought up your governor.
Yeah.
I brought up your mayor. They're not telling the truth. From the beginning to the end, they're trying to cover buns or bottoms, as you would call them, maybe, but they're seriously not telling the truth.
Yeah. And the police chief, who is the coroner, and that's actually it's like major, they're not, that's not supposed to happen. I mean, he goes from 115 to 97 and then ends the death count. What comes up when you look at the police chief?
If there was a group of people who wanted to be greedy and to do some things, I think the people that had to be either not there or turning away and not paying attention are the first people they need to look at.
Mhm.
Because I feel like they dropped the ball all the way, but like if one other person had done the right thing, it could have changed other things.
Mhm.
I'm being told about water. I'm being told about water. And somebody said, water lines were broken or they weren't working or they couldn't get to
Oh, they
the
turned it off. They turned it off. And then later on the governor talks to the UN and says that because of the fire hurricane, which isn't even a thing, the water system shut off, but that's not true. They actually turned off the water.
they turned it off. Yep.
Mhm.
Yep. To me, that means they didn't want to stop
Yeah, well, that means murder is what that
it.
means.
Mhm.
But going back to the police chief, because I feel like he's a demon incarnated in a human body. That's just what I feel.
They might be part of the same, they have to be from the same people. And, there's a saying, follow the money, but there's also a
Mm,
saying of follow the disconnect. Because what happens with people who do crooked things is they act like you're nuts. They literally
mm,
look at you and they either don't answer you or they put you down and they kind of whatever and avoid because if they deny, they think that they're not accountable. But you said yourself that these people were all in some sort of, the dominoes had to be laid out right for something this big to
oh
happen.
yeah.
And we haven't even talked about the other thing I said to somebody, one of the people there, is do not let the people, no matter how desperate they are, sell their properties out of desperation. Do not
Mm,
let them sell their land because they're not getting any kind of government assistance or care and they need to have an income because what's going to happen is big things are going to come in there, the people you don't want there that are not
mm,
family and this isn't their sacred place are going to come in
yeah.
and try to swoop in and take land and rebuild what they want to put there.
Well, the first words out of the governor's mouth are the first words in the first interview is were I'm looking for ways for the state to acquire the land for workforce housing. For the
Oh,
state to acquire the land for workforce housing. When do we call Ohana workforce? Like that is disgusting, in my
that's
opinion.
never been called that, right?
Mm, yeah, that's enslavement. That's
Yeah.
slavery. Workforce is equal slavery. Um, what do you feel the people can do to uh, to support themselves moving forward and keeping their land because they do need income and they have nothing and it's not getting better, it's still getting worse because they still have nothing. And there were actually relief hubs that have just been taken down. There was a relief hub that Ellie Cochran, the representative of Lahaina, she's actually a state representative, created a relief hub for the people, and it was taken from her. It was taken down. They actually went in and they said, oh, these donations, the people want them back. She didn't have any proof. She didn't have any way to contact them. And they took everything. And so this is what the governor's doing, you know. So is there anything that people can do that would support them better?
Hmm.
Or us, just us outsiders that can
Wow.
support them in some way?
Wow. That makes sense. And that would be that this is crooked from the top down and they're trying to, again, they're changing everything so it's not quaint and small, but it's something big and profitable. I do feel very strongly that they have the people. I'm emotional because I feel like the ancestors just want them to save their land, save the sacredness, save what we what we know Hawaii is, the spirit here. And I don't know, I think people that are from there or there are helping each other and will help each other. I
Mm,
think we need to have fundraising and maybe more stuff letting the mainland know that how bad things are because our media isn't sharing that with us.
yeah.
We aren't hearing anything of that. After the fire, we kind of heard, only because I know a few really top chefs that they were there and they were providing meals. And I heard that there were, other people there providing Red Cross or whatever. But I didn't hear much else after that. So we're
Yeah.
out of sight, out of mind over here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I
Our
mean, I had a girlfriend from California contact me. She was asking about this toothbrush, and I got so mad because I'm like, what are you talking about? This is like, what do you know what happened to Maui? And she's like, oh, I didn't think that affected Big Island. And I'm like, there's thousands of children missing. Like, how are you not knowing this? And then I was like, and then I realized, oh my God, they're not
no
talking about it.
Nobody knows about the children part. I can tell you that nobody's heard that. The confusion that I felt, the tears that I felt were not just souls that were dying or physical bodies that died. I think their children may be torn away from their families and scared and lost. I think it can be families lost their children and are looking for them. It's more like all sorts of things were displaced on levels all at once. And I don't
Mhm,
think the people that are in charge are addressing the damage that's been done for real, deeply, what's happened.
mhm,
And if they can keep themselves motivated and going and focusing away from it, in their mind, they won't be held accountable for. They'll become rather well
mhm.
for, and
So,
that's up, that's
oh, go
up to
ahead.
your people. It's up to the people to elect people and get people, doing campaigns and doing things, or helping to hit them where they, hold them accountable as much as possible.
Mhm. So,
Oh,
what is, I
I
know, I was
feel
like, I
you.
had a question
You're
in my
far
head.
away
This
from
is,
me and I feel you. You're 5 hours away and my heart and my belly are twisted. I didn't realize that that is so much of what I've been feeling for months and not sure what it was. And because, pretty much the mainland's kind of a mess too, but I
mm.
wasn't sure where that pit in my stomach and that sadness is. I love children. I work with children. I'm like, that's what it is now. You made it make sense to me.
The families, because one thing that people are talking about is where are the families? Where are the mothers screaming for their children? There's not many, this person's missing, signs. Please, have you seen my daughter? There hasn't been, I haven't seen it on this side. But is it whole families that have been just gone,
Displaced.
been just murdered? Yeah. Do you feel that, because I know that for myself and my own research, that this whole thing is a simulation. I really feel that we're in some type of game here as we play this spiritual, awakening of our spirits toward back to love and courage and inner strength and standing up for what is right. I think each one of us has our own, what we call here on the islands, Kuleana, our own responsibility of what our own mission of what we came here to do. And do you feel that on the big picture of things? Because I always pray that the light is removing the darkness and that this world will eventually become a better place. I'm hoping it's in my lifetime and I see that in my lifetime. But on the big picture of things, what do you see as far as what's coming?
I have the same ideas and hopes and beliefs, and I certainly work every day to kind of help others to get to that place of knowing. Um, I know that the truth is always the truth, and the truth will come out, and with enough light and enough voices and enough people that are saying enough, like, oh no, 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 this is not going to happen. That's the only way we're going to get it and pull the dark into the light to be able to see that shadow stuff. And I think a lot of people look away. The bigger the horror or the bigger the mess, the more they just don't even want to get involved. And every ancestor on the other side that has worked so hard to make the world a better place, they get anxious and they're like, what the heck? We used to do things about this. You can't, if you see
Mm,
something, you have to say something. If you feel that
mm,
something's not right, don't stop. Get a group of people, stay on them, ride them like a pony. You got to get this to happen. And my sense is with you all that there are enough people there that are the foundation of the islands, that have been there forever, that aren't corrupt, that if you get enough of them involved and put a group together, that you can do these massive fundraisers and you can bring these things into the light so other people know. One of the things I told one of my friends from there was, tell me, what do you need? I know everybody. I'll get things and have it shipped to you guys, whatever we have to do. I'll let people know. I'll be your spokesperson here. I'll tell what you give me to share, because we don't know what we don't know.
Mhm.
And
That's
I
true.
feel like you need help. You
Yeah,
need help.
absolutely.
You need some people over here that can rattle some cages and let people know we know what they've done and what they haven't done,
Mhm.
and call them on it. That's what has to be done. Um,
Okay. Yes, I absolutely agree. And that's actually what I'm all about. I'm all about actions. You know, we've complained to the police chief, I'm sorry, the police commissioner about the police chief. They have written back saying that there's not enough evidence and that we have no standing, even though there's numerous testimonies that they were blocking the people from leaving. They have videos of it. So now our next step is to actually go to the Board of Ethics and complain to them against the police commissioner. So that's going to be my next step, because I'm very much I love to take action. So if you guys are watching, please go to standtogetherhawaii.com, standtogetherhawaii.com. Join our email list, because I do send out actions for, as far as the governor goes. I believe there are some court cases, and
Charges.
yes. And what do you see about those court cases? I mean, do you have a timeline where where the truth is going to come out, or is it?
I'm thinking it's going, yeah, obviously because of what the time we are now. I can be middle part of next year before a lot of things come out. But by that time, I think there's going to be enough people either recovered. I don't know why I'm saying that, or realized they were duped. Does that does that
Yeah.
realize that they were conned a little bit? And I think that when more of that comes out, and you mentioned something about the streets being blocked, I saw that. I had it written down in a notebook that there was no clear way and things were being blocked and people couldn't get out. And
Mhm.
I don't know that. I haven't seen anything about that, but that was a real strong sense of the confusion and people kind of
Mhm.
going in different directions trying to get out.
Yeah.
But if I say that that's probably where people laid, and where I said I saw people coming in with shovels or coming in and cleaning up, like moving bodies, like during the night undercover, was probably in those places where they were blocked and they couldn't get out, is probably where a lot of them fell. I I want in my dreams, I meditate. We have had groups meditate. We've sent all the love that we can to the healing and the grief to that place, but we've also said healing to the land. That land is now even more sacred because it has the ashes of so many.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. As far as that goes. Um, so is there anything else you want to share about what's coming for the next? Because I know we're all under attack. I know that the whole powers that be created there's just been so much. I mean, there's not just fires here, there's also fires in Canada and Australia, on the mainland, many places throughout the United States. And do you see this like going worse, or do you see things moving toward the better and moving toward more freedom and truth for people? And then is there anything last things you want to share, and then we'll share your website.
I think what I would like to encourage people is not to give up. Um, there's a lot of people in despair. There's a lot of people that just don't feel that they're strong enough and that they can do their voice doesn't carry weight or does not matter. And I tell people all the time that when you feel that way and you think that way, you have to find others like you because there are more of us than them. And if we united and we worked
That's
together,
true.
we could do so much more. The power, the top 1 or 2 or 3 or 5%, there's still, I don't care how you do the math, there's still 95% of the rest of us that if we got to a place where we said, this is enough, we're not going to let this and support this anymore. We're not going to elect
Mhm.
people like this that don't care about anything but their bottom line, that want to help protect the land, who want to help to protect the earth mother and bring balance back. That's all we're being moved to do to be better humane human beings. This race isn't going to get better until we become more humane. We have to become more of our voice. We have to realize how much power we have, and we have
Mhm.
to collectively put the people in position and support them to help make those changes.
Well, thank you so much for your time, Robin. Her website, if you guys are interested, is Robin Wind Medium, ROBINWINDMEDIUM.com. You can check her out there. And I do want to just let everybody know I have a sponsor, and it is Trans World Metals. That is in the description, as well as Robin's email website. Her website's in the description as well. Trans World Metals is about moving your fiat dollars, moving your retirement into precious metals. So if you are worried about the dollar, which we all should be right now, and actually, since I have you here, what do you say about the dollar? Do you have a
I,
timeline for that?
I've been telling everybody if you have money in the stock market, you need to move it. Do not have
Mm,
your money anywhere where you can't access it. If a grid went down and power went out, you're never going to get those things back. And from
mhm.
all my friends from Chase Manhattan in New York, when the towers went down, there were people, there was paper in that building, that tower, that it took them years to settle some of the money that was owed to their customers and clients. It was a mess. So those are the things we don't
Yeah.
talk about. I tell people
Mhm.
have cash, coins, gold,
Mhm.
silver. I'm all about that,
Yeah.
girlfriend.
Yeah, so my sponsor is Trans World Metals. The link is in the description. And the biggest thing too is if your retirement is in fiat dollars, the governor, the government, the Biden actually passed a thing that where they're going to tax it, capital gains tax 36 to 43% instead of
Wow.
28. Yeah, instead of 28, it went to 36 to 43% depending on your income tax bracket, and that's gone. But if you move it into precious metals, there's actually no tax because ramifications, because it goes from an IRA to an IRA. So if you guys have any questions about that, do click on the link in the description. And Robin, I want to thank you so much, and I want to do a quick prayer with you. And that's how I finish off my interviews. So, Great Spirit, infinite intelligence of all things, we know that there is a higher purpose for it all, and this higher purpose is bringing us, returning us to love, to the frequency and energy of the vibrational oneness that we all are, the unification of the human race, with us all having our hearts beating together with one frequency of love and humanity, kindness, ohana, for the entire planet, for the Hawaii Islands, for the mainland and Canada and Mexico, Europe, Ukraine, Russia, Israel, Palestine, China, Australia, New Zealand, the entire world, Africa. And we just give so much gratitude to all people who are brave and courageous, standing up for what is right, speaking the truth, and holding the truth in their hearts, knowing that they are absolutely guided by Source to do what is theirs to do. And we know that the light is throughout the entire planet, shining so brightly, that the truth is coming. The truth is showing up for all people to see. And those who do not have the best interest of humanity those who are literally murdering our children and murdering our ohana, our family, that truth is coming to light and that they are being held accountable. And we give so much gratitude for this journey is always held in the absolute consciousness of love. And we know that it is done. And we just send so much gratitude and appreciation for Robin, sending her so much abundance and peace and inner strength on her journey. Thank you so much, infinite source of all things. And so it is.
And so it is.
Mahalo, Robin, for joining, and her link is in the description. So if you guys want a channeling on your own with her, please check her out. Much mahalo, sister. Love you.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.